The ink that changed everything. What she wrote: I found out that my wife had an emotional affair with this guy, 36, at work. She is saying it's over, but I am not so sure. She might do this again anyway. What should I do? Although she says it's non-physical, we had slept together at least once in 2 weeks until December when this all started. Since December my gut told me something is off with her. But I accidentally looked at her iPad history and she searched what it means if a guy kisses you on the neck. So, I started looking at her emails, then I found this post and few other emails. She promises never to do this again and be the wife I would like her to be. What are my options? Here is the text she posted. I can't link the post because she has deleted it since then. At the work Christmas party last year, a married male coworker, also a father of 2 young kids, told me he was attracted to me. That, in another life we'd be amazing together. Also, that he thought I was hot and amazing to be with. He said that he walks past my office just to see me and would be disappointed when I'm not there. We work together but not in the same department and have always had a great working relationship. He's a nice guy. We've always talked about real stuff like family, jobs, growing up, and have plenty in common, which is why I thought we had a good friendship. So, I just thought this night was him being a little drunk and sweet. As the night went on, people left, more alcohol was consumed. We danced as a group and he began to get physical, putting his arm around me, holding hands, touching my leg, grabbing my bottom, etc. I reciprocated, but it didn't go any further. At the time the attention felt good, but the next day I felt guilty and confused. When I spoke to him, he apologized and put it down to being drunk. However, he did admit to finding me attractive and felt that there was immense chemistry between the two of us. I hadn't thought about it until this point. It was after he told me his feelings, that like a flick of a light switch, I began to feel attraction towards him. I've never felt this for anyone else, other than my husband, so, who I met when I was 17, I'm now 27. I've been married for 8 years. My so is amazing and means the world to me. We've been through so much together, including fighting the big C. The past few years have been the most difficult as he's been so distant and unresponsive to anything I try to do or suggest improving the situation. I have a very high physical drive, which for years he convinced me was abnormal for a woman. We basically have what they call non-physical marriage. Not only that, but it also lacks any kind of affection because he is not the affectionate type. Before this, I always believed that our marriage was true to our vows in sickness and in health. For richer or poorer, forever and ever, but I'm really struggling. I am not using this to defend my attraction to my co-worker, as I know it is wrong. But what is right anymore? I went away for 3 weeks with my husband, but didn't stop thinking about CW. Facebook turned into my addiction, until recently when I unfriended him, for my own sanity. When I came back, CW told me that one night he'd called out my name several times while sleeping. His wife kicked him out of bed and looked through his phone, text, and emails. She found some work emails, which were mostly professional with a little innocent banter. At that time, that's all our relationship was. Well, from my side anyway. We agreed that although they were strong, we didn't want to act upon our feelings, but also that it would be difficult to avoid each other as we need to work together. So, we've been joking and talking as usual, but also discussing our feelings. There have been a few times when we completely avoid each other, but the majority of the time we would find any excuse to see each other. My ears are now attuned to his footsteps and he cannot walk past my office without looking in to get my eye contact. Also, that being around each other creates a warm feeling inside. We've both admitted to wanting to take things further, but can't because of family and we value our friendship. Since that night we've never made physical contact and we always meet in my office, which is surrounded by glass windows or in areas where we can be seen by others. I miss him when he's not around as he brightens up the day and is a great person to talk to amongst other colleagues, friends that sound like records stuck on repeat. We haven't seen much of each other over the past few weeks. I knew the time would come when things would change and the distance kicks in. We're only human after all. I spoke to him today about the distance and he said that he needed some space to think things through, which I understand. But for me the distance makes me want him more, and it's the talking about real stuff, feelings, each other, jobs, work, hobbies, that has really helped reduce these feelings, enabling me to function normally rather than wanting to jump on him and tear off his clothes. I'm sure there'll be people out there who'll judge me and leave nasty comments, but please understand my intentions before you do so. I'm looking for advice on how to keep a friendship and turn these feelings into something positive. I was once the naive person to judge those who have had affairs, but now I've experienced these feelings. I realize how hard they are to overcome. Has anyone else experienced this? Is there a way that we can both stay friends, talk like we normally do, whilst this attraction fades? Ignoring him at work would not be possible, and as he is one of my most valuable friends at work, I really do not want that to be the case. I feel at a loss, and I know he is having great difficulty in dealing with it too. I just want to be able to go to him with a solution that helps us both move forward. Can anyone offer a solution? I never had any intention of feeling this way towards him. I never saw him this way before and have worked with him for almost 3 years. Summary: mutual attraction with coworker, keep friendship, overcome attraction, lust, flirting, best solution to Deal with attraction, non-physical marriage, lack of affection. End of what she wrote. My wife is not willing to disclose who it is, but I am 99% sure who it is. We still had slept together 4 to 5 times. I initiated it, but she said she is not into bonding that much anymore, which was a total lie. She said she finished it though, since end of March. She also moved jobs. I am worried that this would make our already strained relationship even worse. I feel like it's partly my fault. All the warning signs were there. If I was in the same situation and I care about my marriage, I would own up to everything and I wouldn't care to mention the names, etc. We bought a house together last year. So, we have a mortgage and dog that we both love. At the moment my stance is that she needs to convince me not to divorce. Otherwise, I am going ahead with it. I told her I am going ahead with a divorce, but I might give her one chance to own up to absolutely everything. If she fails to mention any important details, I am done. I have been working out to get in shape again. For me to feel good at least. She has been leaving me notes, etc. saying she is sorry. I love you, you are my life. But that's just a mere note thought. Her actions with this guy at work says otherwise. She has left the job where this guy was. But she has been planning that anyway. She didn't leave the job because of him. The thing is, I am okay if she had just had an affair. But this emotional connection with someone else is driving me mad. It's like when you fall for someone, all you think about is them. That's exactly what she had, and she gave her total attention to that random guy, who now she says she had no interest in having a relationship with him. I am not okay, but I would be willing to forgive her. We are all human after all. People make mistakes in the heat of the moment. But this emotional one has been going on for 3 months. She was totally into him, dressing to impress him, flirting, taking every chance to meet him. Which means I am just her cushion while she adores other guys and communicate well with them, while blocking me out. That is definitely worse than just a one-off bang. My comment: your wife was a baby when you married her. Now she is a physically mature, not emotionally mature, woman, and she wants and desires have changed. You just don't rock her world anymore. It has nothing to do with you or how good of shape you are or how you treat her. She got bored, and bored women do stupid things sometimes. By filing for divorce, you will force her to make a decision about her future and yours. She either wants to commit to being a wife and working through your problems together, or she wants to be single and date other men. That is the choice you need to present to her. OP responds: only thing I know is she was still distant from me until now. Something was still off. The other week I was sitting near the window to see if she is getting dropped off by someone. So weird. She has not done anything other than crying and saying she loves me, means the world, etc. yet to give name out of the other guy. She says she will do anything, but when I ask the name, she says you will ruin their lives. Obviously, she is more worried about them than us. If she is not willing to discuss the detail and give up the name, I guess I cannot trust her anymore. This will be a huge setback on an already strained relationship. Like I don't know her anymore. Any intimacy from her on will feel awkward. It will replay in mind that she actually wanted cloths off another man, and she loved seeing him daily and cut our chats out. She wants to have a proper conversation than bickering. I think I am done. I clearly explained, saying if you are hiding the person, that means you care about OM or his family than our relationship. Still no answer. She comes home, puts on some music, hums along, like nothing happened. Incredible. I have been communicating via emails, point by point, mentioning my worries. She just sidesteps all my questions, and some of them are blatant lies. When I told her to address these, straight away she says we need to have a conversation and stop bickering. I am not a hothead at all, very calm and direct in approach, but she brings emotions into the convo when we talk, crying and saying I love you, you are my life, rather than answering my direct questions. Some of them she says she can't remember because she got a bad memory. My gut feeling is this is over. I have given her plenty of chances since Monday to come clean and let me know the names, what happened. But so far, I have got nothing except for justifications, not actual truth. OM, well, she said another guy kissed her neck last Saturday. That's what she was searching online to see what it means, and it was in the browsing history. That's how I started looking through her accounts. I will need to find a good lawyer and read up a bit. She has gone out without me since then. Also, before she used to ask me to come out with colleagues when they are leaving, etc., but for her own leaving due she didn't invite me. This humming thing she is doing is so funny. She never used to do this, now doing it really loudly. Even if I turn the TV up, she does it louder. I have no idea what message she is trying to get through to me. She calls our marriage a non-physical one. But we had slept together at least once a week when this all happened. I never called her abnormal. I said she has got a high physical drive, which is true. Thing that happened was she never had male interest because she was a bigger girl and didn't dress dirty. Now she lost a bit of weight, which was a thing we both started doing so we could enjoy bonding a little bit better. She started dressing nice with new shoes. Then she got the attention and fell for it. I wish she just stopped nagging and agreed the divorce. I think I don't need to get mad, make a scene. I will file a divorce. I always commented on her losing weight, new shoes. As soon as she started dressing nice, she got attention. I never blew her off, I never rejected bonding. In fact, it was the opposite. When I sent flowers to her work on Valentine's Day, she thought it was from the and there is a transcript of the messages I found in her email. She was embarrassed because she thought they were from him and asked him. I have done so much for her. I looked after her when she had cancer lovingly, cooked nice meals every other day or more, took her out to movies, meals, as she mentions in the post 3-week holiday. Okay, we had a chat last night. She points blank refused to give up name. So that's that. She says she never had a thing with this man. Just a little bit more than a friendship. At Christmas party night she did let him touch her bum and she did the same. Apparently that was it. She says before it went any further, she stopped it. Also agreed that the non-physical thing and not affectionate thing was a horrible thing to say, because it's not just clear as that. There were so many things happening. Also, I did talk to her about stuff before. I said how to be dirtier, I like high heels, etc. She only did that once. When confronted about that she said she felt stupid. It is not just my fault as she explains it in the post, and I didn't totally ignore talking about it. Yes, partly my fault, I should have been more proactive, but then it is her job to keep me interested as well. When we bought the house, I have been doing most of the DIY work, designing, hiring contractors, and also keeping the house clean. So quite a bit on my plate. If she proactively helped out rather than me having to ask her to do things, I would have had more time to think about other stuff. Also, that would be something that would turn me on. I have communicated this to her, but nothing much happened on that front. The post she made online is not accurate to the word. She obviously thought little of me at the time and lost quite a bit of respect just because she didn't get enough bonding. I am fine with testosterone, I think. I am going bald at 33. Also, I do powerlift. I wouldn't be able to do that with low testosterone. She went away to our friend's B&B. I am sure of that, because she and also our friend asked me to come but I refused as I need some space anyway. Also, while we were chatting, I said so if had just sleeping with someone with no emotional attachment would you forgive me? Her answer was absolutely not. That is crossing the line. I think she thinks getting emotionally attached like this someone is fine but physical contact that way is wrong. For me it's the other way around. I have even said that to her before. Getting emotionally attached is wrong but sleeping together is something forgivable. Because that's a body's physical need. We are all animals and we are designed to mate with many as possible. Have that emotional bond with someone outside of the marriage is wrong. Think she has told this only one person. But I cannot get anything out of her. Others don't know much about it. There are some work colleagues but I doubt they would tell me anything. Even if they knew anything. I reckon she must have deleted everything. Now there is no way for me to know anyway. I will just have to take her word for it. Even if it's just what I found out, I can't come to terms with how someone can have feelings towards that way and come back to me and forget about what happened. Although she says she finished in February, I certainly didn't feel that way. I was neglected until I found out about this. There was a message to the guy who fits the bill and he is no longer a friend. Also, she liked some of his posts but she is not a friend anymore. He's got 2 kids, looks about 36 to 38. Also he is a manager. She told me he was a manager and she had to talk to him quite a lot because of recruitment. She works in HR. She said he was attracted to her for over a year. She just played everything down like no physical connection. Anyway, what I have decided is to enjoy life. I don't have to come to a conclusion straight away. What I will do is go out, meet up with friends, enjoy life, without my so. Her refusal to disclose the name of the other man was a clear indication of her loyalty, not to me, but to him. Each day was a struggle, a battle against my own thoughts and feelings. I was angry, yes, but more than that, I was heartbroken. The woman I loved, the woman I had vowed to protect and cherish, had chosen someone else over me. The worst part, she wasn't even remorseful. The house we had built together suddenly seemed too big, too empty. I could still see her in every corner, her laughter echoing in my ears, her smile lingering in my memories. But all of that seemed like a distant dream now, a dream that had turned into a nightmare. I had given her my all, loved her with every fiber of my being, but all that seemed to mean nothing now. The decision to divorce wasn't an easy one, but it was necessary. She had left me with no choice. She had chosen the other man over our marriage, over me. And in doing so, she had left me with no choice but to end it all. The day I told her I wanted a divorce was one of the hardest days of my life. I could see the shock in her eyes, the disbelief, and then the fear. But it didn't matter anymore. She had made her choice, and now it was time for me to make mine. The process was painful, both emotionally and physically. Every document signed, every discussion about the division of property, was a harsh reminder of the love we once shared, now reduced to mere paperwork. The house we had bought together, the dog we both loved. It all seemed so pointless now. She cried, pleaded, and apologized. But it was too late. The damage was done. The trust, once broken, could never be mended. She had shown me her true colors, and there was no going back. The divorce was finalized, and just like that, it was over. The life we had built together was reduced to a mere memory, a painful reminder of the love that was, and the betrayal that ended it all. My comment, the way she actually thinks it's possible to turn these feelings into something positive, and the fact that she says she used to be one of those naive people who judged affairs is fairly disgusting. I don't understand how anyone can think you can turn an emotional affair back into a friendship, and it is the ultimate disrespect to your spouse to try to do so. Story 2. Remembrance. Let me see where I should start with my story. I've been married for almost 7 years. The marriage had its unresolved problems from both parties. I was scared to show affection, like give him hugs and kisses, and he is uncomfortable with communicating with me on his feelings. We've been to some counseling and things will get better, so we stop. Eventually, we both will fall back to our normal self. Well, the past months have been hell for the both of us. We just purchased a new house in April, move in May. His brother and my dog were diagnosed with cancer. They both passed away in Sep, and my husband left me on October 1st. This came as a shock to me. I knew things were not great but had no clue it was bad enough to give up. His explanation was his brother's death made him realize that life is short and he needs to be happy, and happy equal not having me in the picture because I bring too much pain. I tried to ask him to give us one more chance, but he said he just do not see how I can change. During all this, I realized what a selfish person I am and how much soul-searching is needed on my part to better myself. Yes, I still want the marriage to work, but the only thing I can do at this point is to better myself. After he moved out, he did tell me he is very confused about what he should do and needs some time to himself to think things through. The past few days had a lot of ups and downs. One minute, I feel good about everything, and the next I feel so sad without him. I keep on searching the internet to find out if this is really the end. Friday, he came over to the house unannounced. He said he was there to pick up some package that came for him. We started having a good conversation about what we have been doing, nothing about our marriage. I asked if he wanted to sit down and talk. He answered no, but continued to stand there as if he does want to say something. Arg, life is so confusing. Finally, he was able to pick up his stuff and go back to his hotel. I am still at the house trying to better myself for myself and at the same time wonder if he will even come back. I wish he will tell me this is the end and get a divorce lawyer involved so I can start closing this door. In your experience, when will a man finally make up his mind? I will never end this marriage like this because I know I have not given it his chance and I know I can change to better myself. How much time do I need to give him given there is no argument, no affair, nothing that really sparked this except he is still in grief? Also, is this really sound like it is over? Did I make the biggest mistake in my life to not realize that I should have tried harder in the past instead of just trying half-heartedly? I am trying my hardest to focus on myself, but there are times when my mind wanders. I really want to change myself this time because I realized how selfish I have been and I do not like that about myself. However, it is also so painful to think that our marriage will not last because I was too late to come to this realization. I am not God actively going to see an IC. I have been to many IC and do not think they help with the root of my issue. For some reason, I feel like I need to address it myself as only I can help myself. I can be majorly wrong, but that is what I need at the moment. If my emotion goes too crazy, I will ask for help, but right now I want to see if I can address all my baggage from the past. Yes, I've been selfish in the relationship. This is the source of my pain. I know I made a mistake and is unable to fix the marriage as he has lost faith that I can change. It is hard because I do not know anything. I do not know how long it will take him to make a decision. I don't know when he will call me again, when he will come back to the house. Just feel so out of control due to the unknown. Analyzing every little thing that have happened since he left. Oh my God, my brain is about to explode. I keep on telling myself to use this time to better myself, but sometimes my brain does not listen and keep analyzing. I want to sit down and really talk about our marriage, but he is not ready to do so. He just keeps saying he do not see how it will work because I cannot change. Right now is so hard because I do not know what the next step is, so I am trying my best to better myself. I hope soon he will let me know that he is willing to start talking about our marriage. I am not contacting him at all except for basic stuff like you got a package and stuff like that. I've been trying to not think about it, but it is so darn hard. No, there are no other person in the picture. At least that is what he is telling me, and knowing him I do believe that. Couple days later, a lot happened between yesterday and today that made me made up my mind. Some of you have been asking me if he was cheating on me and I've been saying no. Well, I was wrong. He was cheating on me. I saw a full day worth of text messaging going on between another female and him. He still claims there is nothing going on, but he has crossed a boundary that I can no longer tolerate. In my mind, a spouse should never talk to another person of the opposite gender without the other spouse knowing about it. Given he was not truthful, it is cheating. Emotional cheating. I am at a much better stage. I feel no anger towards him. I am still sad, but I know this is the right thing to do. I was checking into my cellular account online and saw over 1,000 texts on his account in just 2 weeks. I snooped and decided to call that number. I got a female VM plus. My coworker actually saw him with this girl and told me about it. At that time, I was defending him and telling my coworker that she must have mistaken my husband for someone else. How silly was I? I lost it today with him. This is the first time since he left that I have yelled at him. He emailed me today saying, I know you have made up your mind and are ready to have everything resolved so you can move on. When I saw this line, blood rushed to my head and I called him and started yelling. Yes, I let him gain control again, but gosh, it feels so good. I told him to stop making it sound like I am the one that caused this divorce. I told him to have some dignity and just admit he is cheating. A lot of people at work all saw them together. When I mentioned that I am going through a divorce, majority of the people said, "Is it due to that female?" What a loser. If he is not embarrassed, I am embarrassed for him. I told him that he has made this the laughingstock at work. Gosh, feels so good to let it all out even though it looks like he got the better of me. I really need to let all these steam out. I am getting ready to file for the divorce. I am on the fence on whether I should file for no fault or at fault. My gut is saying I should go with at fault because that is the truth of why this marriage ended. I would have fight for it to last if not for the EA. The only proof I have that something abnormal is going on is the amount of text between the two. I know that is probably not sufficient enough, but I just want it on paper that he did me wrong. He refuses to admit to the EA and I just want that acknowledgement. I am just so over this marriage and I will recover from it. It is just so hard because the last thing he said to me where he was kept on drinking 1 bottle of wine per day, gain weight, unhappy, and family less all due to me. After that I went through hell with self-blame and begging him that I will be a better wife. It is so painful to realize that he had put me down so often to the point that I am begging and apologizing for causing him all those pain. Just thinking about how I was mistreating myself is causing me a lot of pain. Yes, I have a lot of supportive friends. I am planning to start volunteering for animal shelter after this divorce. We both want a fast one. I can no longer stand the fact that I am still marry him legally. I am not trying to do it fault because I want more asset. I only want to see on paper that it is not my fault for my own healing process. Writing a letter that he won't see. I needed to do this for final closure. We had 7 years of mostly happiness in our marriage in my eyes. I used to enjoy the way you look at me. I used to enjoy all the time we spend doing nothing. I used to enjoy all the time that I feel the love that you had for me. All that is gone now in a flash of a 1-month period. I do understand that we had a tough month with your brother diagnosing of cancer, my dog diagnosing of cancer, and the passing away of the two, but I always thought that we can go through it. We have been through so much with the passing away of your mom, your dad's stroke, and all the craziness your sister brought to our life. You know, abandonment is the greatest fear in my life. I know that this fear has also caused great damage in our marriage. I was so scared of loving you that I provided little physical affection that you needed. I will take on that responsibility as one of the reasons this marriage is ending. However, I need you to take on some responsibility too. I would have done everything in my power to save this marriage if not for the cheating. I know you do not consider it cheating, but emotional affair is cheating in my definition. I would have rather you just slept with another girl than to know that you shared your most intimate thought with someone else. When Nomi told me she saw you with another girl, I laughed and told her she must have mistaken you with someone else. I was so confident in your character that I told her no way that you will do something like this to me. Was I wrong? I still love you a lot and this is why it is so painful, but I know in my heart that I will no longer be able to trust you like I used to. I know you don't want this marriage anymore and it hurt me deeply. However, I know that I need to move on from now on and file for a divorce because with no trust there is no marriage. I am sorry, but I just cannot trust you anymore. Maybe you don't care, but I just need to let it out as I feel like I am looser right now for giving up on our marriage. I hope you do find your happiness. However, you need to learn that you need to find happiness from within instead of asking for someone to provide it to you, as you will never be truly happy. End of letter. Weeks later. Wow, a sense of relief now that he actually got served. He picked the date and time to be served, but they still could not locate him for more than 1 hour. I was at a Halloween party at that time and got 3 calls about they not being able to locate him. I told the guy to let STBX know that if he cannot be found today that he will have to serve him at work. Magically, he reacted to that and called them back and met to get the divorce petition and the temporary orders. Strangely, I am not sad. I just feel freedom is approaching and all this craziness can come to an end. Maybe I am too optimistic since he could drag it longer than needed, but right now I finally am peaceful. Finally, I feel safe again inside my own house. A year later, D-Day, my co-worker saw STBX with a lady and the interaction was strange. I asked him about it and he replied that she was just his workout partner. I let it go. That evening, he sat me down and told me he wanted to end the marriage. As for the reasons, he stated he'd been unhappy for the last 5 years, how he gained weight because I made him so unhappy that he no longer cares about himself, and how he was drinking himself to death because of me. I asked him if this was all because of his workout partner. He looked me straight into my eyes and said he will never disrespect me like that. I believed him and just thought I was a horrible wife. I was devastated and packed my bags to stay at my sister's house that night as I just could not be in the same house with him. He moved out the next day. After he moved out, I found out that he was cheating by looking at our cell phone bills. I realized he lied to me and he did in fact cheated on me. I filed for divorce soon after stating adultery was the reason for the divorce. He countered my petition with I am guilty of cruel treatment towards him. I was so shocked that he could allow this to be said about me. 7 years and all I got back was cruel treatment. Since then, I just keep on uncovering more and more lies. During the discovery process, I found out that he has been buying this workout partner gifts even while he was at home. A wallet that cost over $500. Then, I discovered he had been financially dishonest with me from the beginning of our marriage. I also found evidence of him paying for someone's utility bill once, which was 2 years ago. I dealt with those emotions and was on my way to recovery. This past weekend I was organizing some boxes that have not been unpacked since our move. I uncovered more lies. I found a community college diploma, but he always told me he went to a 4-year college. I can only assume this was a lie, as well as there is no 4-year college diploma to be located. He is a pack rat. I also located an emergency travel kit that is provided by our company for traveling to third world countries. As soon as I unzipped it, 3 protections dropped out. Now I am just sitting here in shock. I cannot stop thinking what else he lied about. How do I get over this? How could I have been so naive that I lived in all these lies and knew nothing about it? How can I ever trust anyone again? How can I ever trust my judgment of people again? My comment: it sucks that there are deceiving people in the world, but there are, so believe it. Once the hurts pass, and it will, you will understand how blessed and lucky you are for all that you have now. It's not about him anymore, it's about you. You are worthy. You cannot control his emotions or behaviors. You can control yours. Learn from your sorrow and grow.